going on, everybody? Well, this happy Thursday, it is DC Heroes Day, and I'm going to come with you guys with a little bit. We said we were going to do a spoiler video last weekend. We kind of had to push it off. Something happened. But today we're going to give you guys a very special video. Two videos. DC Heroes, we're going to talk about the Suicide Squad spoiler. And then an hour later, we're going to have the very special episode of DC Heroes. A lot of stuff is going on today for DC Heroes, including a big announcement about something happening pretty soon. That being said, we'll get to that in the new show, and it's very interesting. But let's get started and talk about this episode. This episode, we're going to talk about the Suicide Squad. The movie came out recently. I liked it. I have seen it twice. I'm going to see it 2 more times, and then I'm just done. Try to see it 2 more times. I may just say it 1 more time. I loved the film when I first saw it. I understood it had problems. I saw it again yesterday, and I really, really liked the film. I'm going to keep the grade 4.25 out of 5. I like the film. It is my least favorite of the DCU thus far. I recently rewatched Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and I'm going to say, I actually kind of going to say this, because as much as I love Batman vs. Superman, which I do, it still is the best film. Man of Steel is like that close to being the best DC film so far. But Batman vs. Superman still is. That being said, let's talk about the Suicide Squad. We're going to talk about the big spoilers that happened in this film, but I like the film. So if you have not seen the film yet, this is a spoiler discussion. We're going to talk about the big things that happened in the film. Some of the things I didn't like. Some of the things I did like. We're going to try to get as much as we can. That being said, let's get started. You have been warned. So 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. I love how this movie automatically, the first 30 minutes of this film are still the best scenes of this movie. Because you get all these flashbacks. You get all these characters that I didn't expect to see in the film. Like Batman's in the film. We obviously saw the Kim on the car. But Ben Affleck's in the film a lot more than I thought he would. I love how Deadshot, you learned about Deadshot. Will Smith stole the entire film for me. His relationship with his daughter, how he wants to take her away from her mother who is with her boyfriend, and how Batman intervenes between the two. And he's like, I'm not going to fight you in front of your daughter. And I love how Deadshot's just like right here. He's about to kill him. And his daughter steps in the way and tells him, no, Dad, you can't do this anymore. And I love how Batman also brought out keychain. He brought out this chain, and he just cuffed him. I was like, usually Batman would just knock somebody out. Here he chained him up, and I thought that was cool. That's how we introduced. And then you get to introduce the character of Harley Quinn, the first ever Harley Quinn on the big screen. And Margot Robbie, who is my future wife in my fantasy dreams. My fantasy is to marry Margot Robbie. It probably won't happen, but I will say that Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn was perfect. Perfect casting. And I had a friend who did not like her. And I said, have you ever watched I don't know if he's ever seen the TV show, but she's this over-eccentric, very witty character. And the definition of witty character. And this is a love story with her and the Joker. And it was done so great. It was done so well. And I give it up because Jared Leto, he wasn't in the film as long. And I know that kind of made me upset that he was not in the film as long. But I liked him. I liked him in the film. I really thought he gave a great performance. Him, when you introduce him and you meet Harley Quinn when she's a doctor. And him bringing in and going, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to hurt you. Really? I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you. Really? Really bad. It's Harley Quinn who's shocking. A lot of people said it was Dick Grayson, which is the biggest assumment. But it's Harley Quinn. And when you introduce her and how he throws her over into the acid, that was fantastic. And how he goes in after her because he loves her. And trying to get her out. And eventually you thought, oh my gosh, she thought Joker died. We all knew he did it. And when he rescues her at the very end from the prison, you understand it's the Joker and Harley Quinn story. And the Joker laugh, I love it. I love the Joker laugh. I thought it was so great. But yeah, I love that. Let's talk about the squad because there are some characters that I really felt really worked. Diablo's character, I loved his backstory. I really respected that. Thought that was handled great. Killer Croc was in the film. He wasn't in the film as much. He didn't have much to do, but he was in the movie. Scott Eastwood. I love Scott Eastwood. He's like my other twin. He was like in the movie for like 5 minutes. You know, I understood that he wanted to be in David Ayer's film. You could have, I don't know. There's a lot of assumptions going on that he was Green Arrow, and he wasn't. He was just, if you cut out his character, he would have been fine. To be honest, I love Scott Eastwood, but if you would have cut his character, you would be fine without him. Some other stuff I really liked about the spoilers, getting into this, because we don't have much time, because we also got to shoot the episode right after this for DC Heroes. Some of the other stuff I liked with this was the handling of Amanda Waller. I thought Viola Davis killed it as Amanda Waller, and how she has these devices. And yes, Slipknot's in the film, Slipknot dies, which I thought was the dumbest idea because I expected him actually to be in the movie a lot more. And Jai Courtney, I didn't mention this in my review, and I regret it. Jai Courtney, best performance he's ever done. He has made a good movie, and I loved at some of the scenes, especially the scene when he had the lighter, and he went, "Oh, the fire, look." Woo! I laughed really hard. I thought that was funny. I love the Phil Jackson quote. Ever heard of Phil Jackson? Yeah, team chemistry. Triangle, bitch. I love that. I thought that was hilarious. I love how in the end he gets to visit his daughter, and with the whole daughter thing was the whole handling of him and how he wants to, and they come in with the little chains, and he just tells them to go away. He's like, we're not going to do that in front of her, and that's respecting the character. I thought they handled that really well, and I love how Boomerang's character also at the end is like, hey, darling, would you let me out? Like they did in the trailer. That was at the end. I thought that was great. But let's talk about some of the stuff I didn't like. There wasn't hardly any Joker scenes. You found out they cut a lot more than we thought there would be. They did cut a lot more than I thought there would be. But I wanted more Joker stuff. But the big problem I had was Enchantress and how she was handled. I love Joel Kinnaman. I thought he was great. And RoboCop, I actually thought he gave a good performance in that. He stood out. He was fantastic in Run All Night. Here, I liked him, but his relationship with him and June, who's also known as Enchantress, which I absolutely hated the handle of Enchantress in this movie. I absolutely hated the way they represent her in this movie. I am a huge... She's actually one of my favorite villains of the whole DC universe. And they handled her so bad, in my opinion. I like Cara Delevingne. She's extremely hot. She's a great actress. But... and how they handle her brother... and I just didn't like the way they handled it. And I didn't understand why you needed the love story between two. I got that in parts. But that was like the biggest what the F moment. That was the thing that made me hate some of this movie. Because I absolutely love Enchantress. She's one of my favorite characters in the comics. And she is not handled correctly. And when a character like this is not handled correctly, like Mr. Freeze, like Sinestro, like what they fucking did in Green Lantern, then I'm going to go off on you. And I'm going to go off on you because this exactly pissed me off. And I understood he had only less time. But you could have really respected and could have really brought more depth to Enchantress, what I love about that character. That being said, the last spoiler about the film when the movie ends, we get a little post-credit scene. This is kind of your post-credit scene, like for the Avengers, kind of what the Marvel did with that. But we didn't get that with with Batman vs. Superman or Man of Steel. Here we get Amanda Waller giving her information and understanding more for what Justice League was in the fantastic trailer of... you get to see information on Aquaman and Flash. And I love how she says at the end, why do you want this so bad? I don't think you should do this. And I'm like, why'd you put it? He's like, why'd you put a team together? That was the dumbest thing ever. I love that. And that's going to wrap up the spoilers. So they're getting ready. We're getting ready. We're about to start working on DC Heroes. So by the time you guys see this, new DC Heroes involving a big announcement, guys. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys like Suicide Squad down below. And if you did not, defend your opinion. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.